Good afternoon, everyone. Our project is to import to Peru the Toyota Camry Hybrid 2021. Our group is from Denise Crousillat, who's talking, Mayumi Matsumoto, Ian Strobach, Jean-Pierre Maufinet, and Alonso Coronado. So the description of our product is the next one. We chose the Toyota Camry Hybrid 2021 because we think that it's a really interesting car for markets such as Peru, and also because of all the characteristics that I'm gonna talk about. First of all, they have this hybrid performance that are seeking to reduce and optimize the fuel economy with this advanced technology that is really ideal to drive. Also, Toyota has increased the hybrid battery warranty from the last version of 2020 to 10 years. Well, the technology, it has this efficient control with a monitor to look for the hybrid energy of the car, and also these versatile multimedia such as remote connect, the smart key, and the start button. This car has four ways of driving: the normal mode, the sport mode, the eco mode that is that tend to adjust the entrance of the accelerations so it works more efficient, and the EV mode that is the electric drive that reduce the noise and the emissions of the car. It's also important to say that the last version of the Toyota Camry got the 5-star safety rating in the Journal of Security in NHTSA. So it has different characteristics such as the blind spot monitor, 10 airbags, the safety connects with the Toyota Cloud, the Toyota Cloud, and also cameras and sounds. So this is a Toyota Camry Hybrid 2021, and the price in the United States market is 27,270 with an exchange rate of 3.55 is 9,600 no 96,808.50 soles.
Hi, I'm going to talk about the validation of the business idea. Well, why do we choose the Toyota Camry Hybrid? Well, first of all, because of the price. It's an economical to respect to the price, maintenance, and the fuel. For example, the fuel saving can be up to 36% compared to the gasoline model and up to 12% compared to the diesel model. Well, second of all, it's because of the security of the car, because this car has a new system called Safety Sense 2.5. This system offers a certain degree of autonomy, warning the driver of potential dangers and setting drivers driving. The goal is to minimize the traffic accident, and this this is perfect for traffic in Peru. The third one, it's because it's friendly than other cars. This this car has a real commitment with the environment because it tries to minimize the emission that produce. This car is one of the less polluting vehicles in the market because of this electric motor and the other components that it incorporates that reduce the emission of the pollution up to 40%. And the third one is because this car has a good performance and with a low speed maximize the performance and drastically reduces the consumption of fuel.
Okay, so I am Alonso Coronado, and I'm going to explain about the profitability analysis and all the logistic process. So, in this case, we have in the profitability analysis, we have the cost, price, and profit. First of all, the cost of all the product is $17,043.75. Our final price is $27,270, and finally the profit is $10,226.25. And basically, in the part of the costs, all the costs that involve that amount of money is, for the first part, the car parts that are needed to produce the car. Basically, in this case, the car parts are the cost of the car parts are the third part of the final price. So basically, we're talking about like around $9,000 in car parts. Then we have the services that are used to produce this car. Basically, the variable and the non-variable costs. In the case of the non-variables, we have the services of power and water that is used to produce this car. Then the remunerations of the employees that are involved in the production of the car. And finally, the logistic costs that will be explained in the next slide. Then basically the price is the amount of the costs and plus the profit margin that basically in this type of industry, companies try to gain more than the half of the costs. So this is normal among the other companies. So we think 60% of all costs of the profit is a correct amount. So in the logistic process, we start in FOB because we're importing from Japan and we have minimum knowledge about how Japan operates, how they have their companies, and they know more than us here in Peru. So we leave this part for them because we think they know more than us and they will choose better than us among between the companies that offer their services to finally put in the ship the final product. So we start in FOB. The product is our responsibility when the car is above the ship. So the price of FOB starts in 11,840.5. We pay freight and insurance. The freight is from the company One Ocean Network Express from Japan to Lima Callao. I think the port that will be on Japan is the one that is in Tokyo. Then we have the SIF. There you can see the amount of money that the SIF is. And then with the cost of handling, that is the unload of the final product and the customs agent, and finally the taxes we have to pay. Basically, it's 5% because we're assuming this is not our first or second import. So Sunat says that if it's the first import, it's 10% of the SIF value. If it's the second one, this amount reduces to 3.5%, and if it's the third or any other, it's 5%. So we're assuming that this is not our first import or second. And then after paying all these costs, we have the nationalization of our product, and then we pay the inland transport to our place, our company. So finally we have the price, the cost of all the process, including the other costs, of course. And finally we have the cost DAP, that is $17,043.73. Then we have to add the profit margin, that is the 60% of the DAP. Finally, we get the price of our final product that it was shown in this slide before.
Hello, my name is Ian Strobach, and I'm going to talk to you about the best mean of payment for this international transaction. As you can see here, we chose the letter of credit, that it can be expensive in terms of banking fees and the documents that must be presented. But due to the fact that our exporter is Toyota Japan, they have a rigorous document preparation, and we believe is the best option for the two of us. And so yeah, we're going to choose that, and we're going to work with Scotiabank here in Peru. We can see here the model for the application of the letter of credit that we're going to be using. As you can see, that bill of landing, our carrier is going to be Maersk International. Next, we have the insurance that is going to be covered by DSV International. And some additional instruments that we might use is a certificate of inspection. This ensures that the products arrive in good condition before the shipment. Also, the commercial invoice detailing the type and the value of the goods. Also, the packing and the weight list. These are documents that go along with the goods. And finally, the certificate of origin that confirms the origin of the goods, and it's going to be prepared by our exporter Chamber of Commerce. Thank you.
Now I'm going to talk about financing. First of all, if Toyota wants to request a loan, we believe it should be a short-term loan to a traditional bank, which means a loan which has to be paid in 1 year monthly, and we know Toyota could easily get one of those loans from a bank here because of the 5Cs analysis. First of all, Toyota is a big successful company with a perfect ability to pay, which shows they have a lot of capacity, and in character they have a great history gained by paying lots of bills on time, and also moving a lot of money. In collateral, we know Toyota has a lot of assets they can put on collateral, like their cars, and they can put them for safety purposes. And next, on capital, Toyota is a company which is increasing its income and capital every year. In conditions, the loan would be used to import and sell to gain more profit, which generates more safety to the financial institution that is going to give the loan to Toyota. Next, here we have two amortization schedules. The first one is considering the interest rate of gestión, the section of tasas de interés activas en moneda nacional de empresas grandes. This one considers an annual interest rate of 6%. And as I said before, the period of the loan is 1 year with payments monthly. And the next amortization chart is from Scotiabank and from Negocios Capital de Trabajo, in which we could only get a maximum loan value of almost $500,000, with an annual interest rate of 14%, with no double payment and a grace period of 30 days. And we can easily find that a difference is that the interest rate is a lot higher in the Scotiabank amortization schedule, because they can't prove that we are Toyota and we have the good credit history and all the other 4Cs in a good state. And another thing is that this Scotiabank considers a grace period of 30 days, which means that when your loan is accepted, you start to pay it 30 days after they accepted the loan. And well, that's basically it. You with Scotiabank, you pay a lot more interest because they can't confirm that you have a good 5Cs.
And some additional instruments that we might use is a certificate of inspection. This ensures that the products arrive in good condition before the shipment. Also, the commercial invoice detailing the type and the value of the goods. Also, the packing and the weight list. These are documents that go along with the goods. And finally, the certificate of origin that confirms the origin of the goods, and it's going to be prepared by our exporter Chamber of Commerce. Thank you.
Okay, so when we talk about sustainability, um, well, Toyota has this environmental performance. They're attempting to reduce the CO2 emissions in their cars with this hybrid technology and electrification, and also to cut the energy and fuel through processes of renewable energy in their plants and also in their logistics. So, for example, in Texas, they implemented this solar installation. When we talk about water, they want to conserve, recycle, and reuse in their manufacturing processes. So, for example, in places with limited water, in places with limited water, they are using this membrane bioreactor, the MBR, and well, they are trying to reduce the waste of their materials in the plants and also in the offices with recycling. So they have an specialist engineering that can calculate, for example, the amounts of solvents they need so they can reduce their materials use. And also they want to minimize the disruption of the nature if they construct and manage their facilities. For example, they also support pollinators and native species. So Toyota also has this environmental challenge to the year 2050. So they want to eliminate the CO2 emissions in their new Toyota vehicles and also reduce the emissions in their manufacturing parts and materials to when they produce the vehicles. Um, Also, they want to protect the water resources in their facilities and processes and to support a recycling-based society in their facilities and processes as well. And last but not least, they want to facilitate and processes operate in harmony with the nature.
Well, I'm going to talk about the challenging part of the process. Uh, the challenging part of the process, first of all, one of these was the part of the penetration of electric vehicles in Peru was practically nil. In the country, only 1% or 2% of the vehicle fleet is electric. The rest are addicted to the internal combustion. That is why it's easier to introduce hybrid car because they don't need additional infrastructure. The second one was because of the price. Uh, the price was very high, but with the advance of the technology and the years, this car has a moderate price compared with other cars. And in the long term, this is good for you because you're saving money.
Finally, I'm going to talk about conclusions and recommendations. It is more probable that a company will get a loan if the purpose of it is directly related to their selling activity, which often equals to more profit and more capacity of payment. A really big company like Toyota should intend to preserve a good credit history to maintain access to greater amounts of financing that only a number of selected businesses can afford. Toyota Peru should request a credit directly from Toyota Japan if possible when importing cars from them because they can get a much lower interest rate than a standard bank as the relationship between both entities is very close and they really trust each other. Final entities always evaluate the growth potential of the market in which a company works when giving a loan, since they can't predict how much will the company increase uh, its capital by increasing profit and reducing their debts. Finally, hybrid cars are part of a market with a great future in profit terms because of the popular and constantly increasing trend of preserving the environment, which makes financing easier to get as more and more people are changing their minds to buy one of them instead of a standard car.